The night was painted in shades of silver and sorrow. Snow fell like feathers from a gray sky, blanketing the city in quiet desolation. Streetlights flickered across empty roads, and the only sound was the faint hum of tires on wet asphalt. Inside a black luxury car, Michael Harris, a 38-year-old CEO, sat quietly at the wheel. Beside him in the backseat, his little daughter Emily, 6 years old, hummed softly to a Christmas tune, her cheeks rosy from the heater's warmth. Michael had just finished a 12-hour day, business meetings, reports, numbers, the same endless cycle that had filled his life since his wife passed away 3 years ago. His success meant nothing without her, and though he wore a confident smile for the world, inside he was hollow. Only Emily's laughter kept him moving forward. As the car stopped at a red light near an underpass, Emily leaned toward the frosted window, drawing a tiny heart on the glass with her fingertip. Her smile faded suddenly. "Daddy," she whispered, eyes wide. "There's someone out there." Michael followed her gaze, and froze. Under the flickering streetlight sat a young woman, wrapped in a thin coat, clutching a baby to her chest. The infant's cries were faint, muffled by the cold air. The woman tried to cover the baby with an old scarf, her hands trembling violently. Steam rose from her breath as she rocked the baby, whispering words too faint to hear. Emily's small voice trembled. "Daddy, her baby is freezing." Michael's first instinct was to look away, to tell Emily that someone else would help. But when he saw the baby's tiny blue fingers poking from the blanket, something broke inside him. The woman's eyes lifted toward the car, meeting his through the fogged window. They were tired eyes that had seen too much pain, but behind them was a flicker of pleading, a silent cry for help. The light turned green. Cars behind them honked impatiently. But Michael didn't move. Emily tugged on his sleeve. "Please, Daddy. You always tell me we should help people when we can." Her words cut through the years of cold success, through the walls he had built since losing his wife. Without another thought, Michael pulled the car over and stepped out. The icy air hit him like needles. He took off his heavy coat and walked toward the woman. "Hey," he said gently, kneeling beside her. "You can't stay out here. Your baby needs warmth." The woman looked terrified, clutching her baby tighter. "Please, I don't want trouble. We'll move." Michael shook his head. "No trouble. Just help." He offered his coat. "Here, take this." She hesitated, but her baby's weak cry made the decision for her. She wrapped the coat around the baby, her eyes glistening. thank you, sir," she whispered. Michael looked at the infant's pale face, too pale. He turned toward his car. "You're coming with us," he said. "There's no to this." I can't," she stammered. "I don't want pity." "It's not pity," Michael said firmly. "It's what any father would do." He extended his hand. Slowly, trembling, she took it. Emily watched from the car window, her eyes filled with both worry and hope. When the door opened, she smiled shyly. "Hi," she said. "I'm Emily. You can sit with me." The woman climbed in, clutching her baby tightly. The warmth of the car made her sigh in relief. "I'm Lena," she murmured. Emily leaned closer. "Your baby's so tiny." Lena nodded, tears forming. "He's just 2 weeks old. His name is Noah." Michael glanced at them through the mirror. A faint smile touched his lips. "Hang in there, Lena. You and Noah are safe now." As the car drove through the snow-covered streets, the city lights shimmered on the windshield like stars. Emily reached out her small hand and held the woman's fingers. The camera would linger on that, a rich man's child holding a homeless mother's hand, 2 worlds connected by kindness. Outside, the storm raged on, but inside that car, warmth returned, not from the heater, but from something deeper, humanity rediscovered. The elevator doors opened to a world far from the streets. Michael's penthouse was vast, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering skyline, a crackling fireplace casting golden light across the room. Lena stepped inside hesitantly, her shoes soaked, her face pale. She held baby Noah close, as if afraid the luxury might reject her. Emily ran ahead excitedly. "Daddy, can we make hot chocolate? For her too?" Michael nodded. "Yes, sweetheart. And get a blanket." Within minutes, the house came alive, the scent of soup simmering, the gentle pop of the fire, Emily's laughter echoing down the hall. Michael fetched towels and clothes while Lena stood near the fireplace, unwrapping Noah. She gasped as warmth touched her skin. The baby stopped crying and fell into soft, peaceful breaths. "Sit," Michael said kindly, setting a cup of soup on the table. Eat. You look like you haven't had a meal in days. She hesitated, ashamed. I don't want to impose. You're not imposing, he interrupted gently. You're surviving. Tears welled in her eyes as she took a spoonful. I used to have a job, she whispered. At a diner. Then my boss fired me when he found out I was pregnant. My boyfriend left. I tried to find help, but every shelter was full. Emily came back with a teddy bear. This is Mr. Buttons. He can help the baby sleep. Lena smiled faintly, her tears spilling over. Thank you, sweetheart. Michael sat opposite her, watching the flicker of firelight dance across her tired face. For the first time in years, he saw something that made his heart ache. Not business, not numbers, but real pain. He thought of his late wife, Laura, who used to volunteer at shelters. She would have done exactly what Emily did tonight. The silence was tender. Only the baby's breathing filled the room. Lena, he said quietly, you don't have to go back out there. You'll stay here tonight. Her lips trembled. Why? You don't even know me. Michael looked at his daughter, now asleep beside the baby. Because I can't teach her kindness if I don't live it. Lena broke down then, silent sobs shaking her shoulders. I thought everyone had stopped caring, she whispered. But maybe not. He handed her a tissue. People forget to care until someone reminds them how. The rest of the night passed in gentle peace. Lena bathed, dressed in one of Laura's old sweaters. Noah slept in a cradle Michael had quickly assembled from a storage box and soft towels. The fire dimmed, but the warmth lingered, not from the room, but from hearts rediscovering grace. As Michael turned off the lights, he glanced at Emily, sleeping with a smile. She had done something he hadn't done in years, made him feel human again. Morning broke over the city with a golden shimmer. Sunlight spilled through the tall windows, scattering across the polished floor. The air smelled of coffee and warmth. Michael stood by the window, phone pressed to his ear, speaking in his calm but firm tone. Yes, Sarah, he said to his HR manager. There's a young woman who needs a position in our community outreach department. I'll personally vouch for her. A pause. Then he smiled. Yes, today. He turned around. Lena stood at the kitchen doorway, holding Noah, both bathed in sunlight. Her face, once pale and weary, now glowed softly. You didn't have to do that, she said quietly. Michael set down his phone. I didn't have to stop last night either. But I'm glad I did. She blinked back tears. I don't know how to. Thank you. Just take the chance, he said. And one day, when you see someone else in the cold, pass it on. Emily came running, her curls bouncing. Daddy, can Lena and Noah stay forever? Michael laughed softly. We'll see, sweetheart. He looked at Lena again. You'll start fresh. We'll arrange a small apartment nearby, and the company will cover it for the first few months. Consider it an investment, not in business, but in people. Lena's lip quivered. You saved us. Michael shook his head. No, you saved me. Outside, the city awakened, cars, voices, life. But inside, something more profound stirred, faith in humanity, reborn through compassion. As Emily cradled baby Noah near the window, the sunlight framed the three of them, a CEO, a child, a mother, unlikely souls bound by one night's kindness. The camera would pull back slowly, capturing the city skyline behind them, the snow melting into glittering drops, a visual promise that even the coldest nights can lead to the warmest dawns. The screen would fade to black as the narrator's voice whispers.